David, you have your beans? Okay.
Anyways, what is going on, everybody?
I'll block
Welcome
you
back.
too.
What? I was just
God
in the
I'm
damn
middle.
it,
sorry.
Max.
I'm
He
sorry, I
was
didn't
in
know.
the zone. He was in
I'm
it.
done. I'm sorry.
I was in the zone, and I'll never get back. All right, let's actually do this. Okay. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the official Baked Beans podcast. I am White Sea Deer. I'm joined here by my co-hosts, ZapQuackPax, Zap and Quack. How are you guys doing?
Feeling saucy.
Feeling
I
saucy.
am alive and happy to be.
Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear. This is episode 4 of the Baked Beans podcast. We got a few things to talk about today. A lot of things happening this week. I hope you guys are excited to join us on this little adventure that we're going to have. And the first topic is actually mine. It is the new trailer dropped for Shang-Chi, of course, Marvel.
Yep.
I am super excited for this movie for the main reason because this character has pretty much been relegated to the comics, and I'm not super familiar with him. From what I know, he is the son of Fu Manchu, and he is pretty much kind of brought up to become a kung fu master, and then is able to leave and start a new life, and then he kind of gets wrapped back into some bad doings from the Ten Rings, which for those of you who watch the original Iron Man, you know who the Ten Rings are. So yeah, I'm super excited for this movie. So I want to see what you guys thought. I have a couple points to make, but I'll let you guys take the reins here. So maybe I can learn a little bit before I make my points. So Max, what do you think about the new Shang-Chi trailer that just dropped?
So I've never really been that much into martial arts movies. IP Man or Ip Man or however you pronounce it. And you know, Dragon of the West, like those kung fu movies in general don't really like appeal to me that much. But what I am really excited for is we actually get to explore a character that I've been waiting for 10, 15 years now, and that's the Mandarin. And you know, we got a little bit of it with Ben Kingsley in Iron Man 3, but you know, a spoiler alert, he's not really
He wasn't
the
actual
quote unquote
Mandarin,
real. Yeah. And there's a post credit scene called All Hail the King, and I don't know if you've seen it. It's a one shot where it's basically Ben Kingsley's character is in jail, and an interviewer comes in to, you know, get his story. And by the end of it, it turns out that the interviewer is part of the Ten Rings, and he has come to collect Ben Kingsley's character to answer for his, you know, his transgressions of like making a mockery of the name. So I'm really hoping that we get to see Ben Kingsley kind of like return, because I really love him as an actor, and I think he did a good job of portraying, you know, a mockery, quote unquote, of the Mandarin. But it's also like the Mandarin is one of Tony Stark's biggest arch enemies.
Yes.
And you know, getting to explore all the 10 rings that he has, they're all, you know, imbued with some type of magic. They do very specific things. It's kind of like an Infinity Gauntlet type deal, but not like on a cosmic scale, just like a ground level scale.
Right.
And one other thing, one last thing that I really want to touch upon is he does the actor that plays Shang-Chi. Forgive me, I don't remember his name. But he's doing all of his own stunts. And anytime that we get an actor that takes on that burden, it's really cool to see. It really shines through the choreography of fights, when
especially
the
when
actor
it's a
themselves
movie with martial arts and kung fu and stuff like that. And
yeah,
you know, going back to your point, you said you've never been too infatuated by the old school kung fu movies. I'm the opposite. I absolutely love those over the top kung fu movies. And I think they're trying to pay a little bit of homage to those old movies in this. For example, I watched a breakdown of this trailer. At one point when it showed Shang-Chi's garage room where he lived after leaving the temple and all that, he had a poster of Kung Fu Hustle up on his wall, which I thought was hilarious, and I love Kung Fu Hustle. So I just wanted to throw that in there, that little bit of a tidbit. It's super funny to see. But yeah, David, what do you think about this whole Shang-Chi stuff going on?
I think it's going to be a great father-son duo movie. I'm kidding.
Duo?
I mean,
do you think they're going to be friends?
No. I am interested in that aspect of it, not the duo part, but the whole fact that it's the Mandarin's son going up against him and fighting the organization. And yeah, I didn't know much about the character before this, but something else I did know is apparently the foundation. Thank you, my words. The foundation for this has been laid all the way back to Iron Man, because the Ten Rings was apparently the organization that kidnapped Tony Stark in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this isn't something that's coming out of nowhere. It's something that has been coming for a long time, and I think that's really interesting. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
so
this is tying into the origins of the MCU, which is really, really kind of cool. So we might see an appearance by Iron Man. Who wouldn't like that? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But
so I'm interested. Definitely interested.
I just also want to make a point. In the movie, Mandarin is the father of Shang-Chi. In the comics, it's Fu Manchu. The reason Fu Manchu has been removed is because it was kind of a character of the Yellow Scare, is what that time period is called, when there was a lot of racist depictions of Asian characters, whether it be in comic books, movies, music, whatever. Say Disney did it too. We've all seen the racist Disney comics. So if any comic book fans out there that aren't familiar with the movie or what's going on, that's why Mandarin is the father of Shang-Chi and not necessarily Fu Manchu. So,
but I think that'll add a nice another layer to it anyway.
Yeah, I think it adds a lot to the story. I think it ties everything in a lot neater. So I like the change.
It feels very Batman and Ra's al Ghul-ish.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of a cool parallel there.
And it's almost like a disappointing your father kind of story.
In a way, yeah. Yeah, he just leaves and betrays.
And don't we all know how to do that?
Yeah.
But Ra's al Ghul, man, he needs to be brought into the MCU. I forgot about that character, Ra's al Ghul.
Ethan, that's DC. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Ra's al Ghul is DC.
Yep, you're right.
With
I
Batman.
always mix that shit up. I don't know why I always think Batman.
Yeah, it's alright, man.
MCU.
A lot of people do.
But
who knows?
Next, the Flash movie. Whose topic is that?
Oh, that was mine. Yeah. So the Flash movie with the actor that played the Flash in the Justice League movie. Forgive me, I don't have his name right in front of me. Didn't really prepare, I guess. But he's the new Flash movie just started production this week. We got a neat little logo and like what it's gonna look like. We don't have a trailer or anything, but the main topic that I really wanted to talk about, which is something that has been kind of like hinted at for like decades, ever since the first Batman movie, not the first Batman movie, but since the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton came out. Now they are actually bringing him back into the fold as Batman, which is really weird for a lot of different reasons. One of them being that this universe's Batman is Ben Affleck. And it doesn't sound like he's going to be reprising the role anymore. But what that tells me is that they're finally going to introduce the Batman Beyond Batman, old Batman, with a cane and Ace. And I'm a huge fan of that whole series. I think there's a lot of really interesting characters, a lot of really interesting plot lines, and it ties in nicely with the Flash because he can time travel. So maybe he's going into the future to talk to old Batman, Mr. Michael Keaton, and seeing what he can do to fix the timeline or whatever.
Right.
and I think this is probably like the best storyline that they could have thrown at the Flash. Something new and fresh, with that still deals with his character and also brings in a lot of hype because of Michael Keaton. So I really hope that that's the direction they take with it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys ever watch Batman Beyond?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, probably a couple years ago.
It's a fun show.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? You guys excited about the Flash movie and Michael Keaton?
Yeah. So Michael Keaton, yeah, classic. It's always nice to bring him back. But I like Ezra Miller. That's the Flash's real name, the actor.
There we go.
Yeah, I've been watching him in other things. Like he was in Fantastic Beasts.
Was he really?
Yeah. He played the what was his name? The kid, not the kid, but as in the second movie, he played Credence something.
I didn't watch the second one, so that's on me.
Okay. Anyway, and he was in Perks of
Yeah, Wallflower.
Wallflower. Yeah, he played the other guy. But so I've liked him in his other stuff, and like we talked about last week, the Snyder Cut. I only saw the Snyder Cut, and I liked the way that they did his character there. It was different for me because I was watching the CW Flash, that show, so it's a completely different character. But I like it, and I want to see it fleshed out, and I want to see it given more time. And I like how neurotic he is. I think it's amusing. So I think it'll just be an interesting. Feels almost like it'll be a coming of age story because he's a very young Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Very plucky.
Yeah. So I'd like to see it. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Ethan?
You guys know I'm not super in depth with the DCU much, but when I heard Michael Keaton was coming back, I knew who Michael Keaton was, and I knew he was one of the original Batmen. And it was cool to see him coming back. At first, I was trying to justify it, trying to compare pictures between him and Ben Affleck, to see if maybe they were like, oh yeah, he does look like an old Ben Affleck. But no, they don't look anything alike. So this is just kind of an homage, and I think your point is right, Max, how you're saying this kind of opens them up to find the new actor for Batman, which I personally really liked Ben Affleck as Batman. Just me. He was one of my favorite Batmans ever. So I'm sad to see him go, but I'm looking forward to the new hunt for the new Batman actor that seems to happen every few years now.
Yeah, it's the guy who played Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter. What is his name?
Cedric.
Are you serious?
Diggory.
I didn't know this. Hold on.
He's already been cast. Like they're like
Robert Pattinson.
I'm learning something here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
really?
there you go.
You mean the guy who played Edward in Twilight? I can't believe you just went to.
Yeah.
You just went to Harry Potter. Like
that's Edward.
Oh yeah, he's like.
Well, yeah, I
get it. You don't like Twilight.
Him better in that movie.
Yeah, it's funny. Like the one big thing he's really known for. No, Cedric Diggory. That's who he is.
Yeah. But they're actually like halfway through production right now, in the filming of the Batman.
Yeah.
And he's the Batman.
Yeah,
he's the next one. It's not part of the. I don't know if it's part of like the actual DC cinematic universe. I think this is its own little offshoot. I don't think he's replacing Ben Affleck. I think this was just like what they did with the Joker movie, with Joaquin Phoenix.
Just another.
Like he didn't replace. Yeah, because he didn't replace Jared Leto. Jared Leto's still the Joker right now in the DCEU.
That's strange to me. I can't see Robert Pattinson as a Batman, but then again, we kind of said the same thing about Ben Affleck when he was cast for Batman, and it turned out to be incredible. So I'm gonna hold judgment until I see, the results. Robert Pattinson has that chiseled jawline that's good for Batman because you're only gonna see the bottom half of his face. So it might be cool.
And as we know, as everyone knows, Heath Ledger, when he was casted, everybody freaked out and was like, "Oh, he can't do this. He's just a pretty boy. He doesn't have the depth for this." Blah blah blah. And
we know how that turned out.
One of the best Jokers.
Exactly.
So, I thought the same thing with Joaquin Phoenix. So I'm done prejudging. I have no idea, So
Right.
I'm excited for it.
I
Actually,
learned, though. I had no idea about that. I'm glad that you brought that up, Max.
One last little thing for both of you and the people that are listening at home. So I would urge you to take a side-by-side view of Michael Keaton now and what old Batman looks like in Batman Beyond. And they look. There's a reason why people have been making the connection for years, is because
he looks like
they
old
kind of
Batman.
look similar. It's kind of like a match made in heaven, honestly.
Yeah.
Like an old white dude.
And Michael Keaton loves playing flying mammals, so let's bring him back to Batman once again.
Hell yeah.
All right.
That was a twist.
Yeah, there's a lot of turns in that one.
Well, speaking of the DCU, let's not, and let's talk more about Marvel.
Yeah.
I was about to say, wait. I know where Spider-Man is, okay? I know where Spider-Man is.
Yeah. So, I guess that brings us to me. So everybody knows that there's another Spider-Man movie coming, No Way Home.
Correct.
And, yeah. Everyone also knows that they casted Doc Ock in it from the old movies as Doc Ock. And that's amazing. There's a rumor, just a rumor, that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield might show up. And it's been confirmed, I think, from what I was reading, that there is some involvement with the multiverse. So I am just very excited for that, and I'm wondering how it's going to tie in and what's going to happen. The fact that I don't know who the main villain is, and that it might be Doc Ock, is really interesting to me. And yeah, I'm loving this whole Tom Holland Spider-Man continuation. It is great.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, what do you guys have to say about it?
I'm super excited just for Doc Ock. Otto Octavius is one of the villains of my childhood. Thinking back to the original Spider-Man movies, Doc Ock is a character that I've watched multiple times over and over and over again, and just to hear that they even got the same actor back for him, it's going to be incredible to see. And I want to see Doc Ock's story brought in a modern light, like in modern CGI or modern technology, or whatever you want to say, how movie magic happens nowadays. I want to see it brought to light in 2021. I'm super excited to see Doc Ock back on the screen. So yeah.
Yeah, ditto. So I'm really hoping that we don't have another Quicksilver situation where we get the same actor back to do a role, and then it turns out that like it was a red herring, and
right.
Spoiler alert, for WandaVision, they brought back they swapped actors with the X-Men Quicksilver.
It was really
and I was really wanting them to just I wanted that to be real. I wanted Wanda to actually be merging the two universes, and that was going to be the new the continuation of Quicksilver.
Yeah.
And I really hope that we don't have the same situation here where they bring back the same actor, but they don't acknowledge it. They don't say anything about the multiverse.
Do you think they do that to us twice? Do you think they do that to us twice?
Maybe they did it to us once.
I'd be a little upset. I would be a little upset if they did it again.
Yeah, me too. But no, I'm super excited. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, obviously, are childhood movies. And say what you will about all of them. It's a good collection. Third one wasn't really as good as the second one. The second one is the best. Because of Dr. Octavius being in the movie, and I think that there's a really cool line here because if I remember correctly, he made a black hole and ended up getting sucked into it, and that might be the connective tissue for how he got into this universe of Spider-Man. You know,
That's a good
because
point.
we don't know what black holes do.
Right.
You know, we have these wild assumptions about what they do, but like literally, it could have been a wormhole that he was creating. And
Now he has worms.
maybe, yeah, and then maybe he's trying, like maybe he does become the villain of this one, and his act is trying to get back into his original universe, and that might like open it up to have the other Spider-Mans get sucked out of that one or theirs into here with his whole wormhole technology. But I'm super excited.
And the whole black hole thing could explain any kind of aging or whatever because, you know, no rules.
Relativity.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really interesting what this. When does this movie come out? Do we know? Anybody got it up? I don't mean to put
I think it comes out next year.
Next year? Damn.
I think I might be wrong. I could be wrong though. Don't.
Quick Google fingers. Here we go. We gotta keep going.
No, this year. Sometime this year.
Yeah. No Way Home 2021.
December 17th.
December?
So far.
Heck yeah.
Last update that I know. It's gonna be a Christmas movie.
It is. It's gonna compete with Die Hard as the best Christmas movie ever. So, yeah.
If you consider Die Hard a Christmas movie. We'll save that discourse for another day, though.
For another day.
Okay. Anybody else have any last minute things to say about Spider-Man?
Not as of yet.
All right, segue into the next one.
So big news coming out of Xbox. You guys know I'm an Xbox player, so I follow up on all the news of Xbox. The xCloud is getting its beta release for iOS and all Apple and PC, all that stuff. For the time being, all I can do is play it on my phone. That's what people have been able to do since late 2020. It's basically a streaming service where you don't have to be in your house. As long as you have internet connection, you can whip out your phone if you're away in a hotel somewhere and play your Xbox on your phone, which is absolutely incredible.
What?
Yes, absolutely.
Huh?
Yeah, I play it at work.
No way.
I'll get to work an hour early, and I'll put my phone up on my dash with Velcro. I bring my Xbox Series X controller with me to work. I Bluetooth it to my phone, and I play video games on my phone before I go. I
don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Why would I make that up?
You're lying to me.
I will take.
How is that a thing, though?
Why would I lie to you? Now, obviously, there is like how we've seen the issues with Google Stadia. There's some latency issues. There's some buffer time issues. You know, every once in a while, sometimes you have to pause the game to let it catch up to you a bit so you can actually see what's going on. I wouldn't recommend this service for competitive games if you're into Fortnite or Call of Duty or first-person shooters where you have to, have quick reaction times. This is not the service to use. But yeah, they're opening beta right now for PC and iOS, which I think is a big breakthrough because initially Apple was kind of going against this, kind of the same way that I think it was last year Apple was going against Epic Games. Epic Games is the creators behind Fortnite, right? I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, and they were trying to basically create their own store, on Apple's store, if that makes sense. You could download the Epic Games Store and then buy games through the Epic Games Store, which Apple does not like. And they tried to say the same argument for the xCloud but Xbox has pretty much come in and said, listen, these players they already have these games through our services. They're just streaming it. It's different from the Epic Games scenario. Epic Games also does a lot of mobile games and stuff like that. You're not going to go in the iOS store and buy Halo Master Chief Collection and play it. So it's not like it's dipping into the pocket of Apple or anything like that. But I love it, seeing the expansion of the xCloud service. I think it's, I don't know if it's the future of gaming like some people might like to say. I think it's going to be a part of our future, and I think it just opens up a lot of accessibility to people. And also it allows me and other players like me who work a lot, they're out of the house a lot, to take that downtime to be able to catch up on games, you know, that they normally wouldn't have that time during the week. So I think this is incredible that we're seeing it get expanded to more locations so more people can get it. So obviously it sounds like, Max, this is the first time you've heard of this xCloud streaming service. It sounds like you are pretty adamant about wanting to talk about it, so let's see what you got to say. What do you think about this news that you can play Xbox anywhere on your phone?
So first off, I guess I really didn't understand what Stadia was doing. Does Stadia do that too?
I've not used Stadia. All I know is it's a cloud-based gaming service where you stream a game while you play it. It's not like a physical console. I don't know if you can do it on your phone though.
Right.
So.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, tomato, potato.
Yeah.
This sounds bonkers to me. And I can't believe that I didn't know about any of this.
Actually, I'll bring it up for you guys. For those of you listening at home, you probably aren't going to be able to see this because we're going to edit out the video. But I'm going to bring it up for my friend here. But you continue with your point, and I'll load this up for you so I can show you what's going on.
Yeah. No, I think that this is kind of a step in the right direction. So I think this kind of like is a step that like Nintendo did with the Switch.
Right.
But better, because now you can have it on your phone, and your phone can. You can buy a better phone. Like there are phones out there that are specifically geared towards gaming, that have better graphics, better quality of like response times. Right. So I think that like this might end up inadvertently competing with the Nintendo Switch, but in a weird bracket. And I'm every single week that we have these podcasts, you bring something to the table that is something to do with Xbox, and I'm continuously getting more and more jealous because I would love to have the capabilities to bring my controller and into work whenever I have downtime, like during lunch or whatever, and just play like a round of Overcooked or anything like that. Because like the Switch is a lot more clunky, and the battery's not as good as my phone. And I think this might be the next, well, maybe not the next big thing right now, but maybe the next big step in the future. I'm really excited about it.
Now, to be fair, you do have to bring your Xbox controller wherever you go, which is kind of a hassle. Yeah. They do have mounts for phones on the Xbox controller that you can buy, that you can literally just mount your phone to your controller so you can use it. You can also do this with a tablet. If you have a tablet, that's probably a better experience than the phone, bigger screen and all that stuff. But I also want to point out that the phone's performance, it doesn't really matter because it is just like streaming like HBO Max. It's the same exact kind of scenario where your phone's not using any of its power to run this game. It's literally just streaming it to your phone. Your Xbox at home is doing the workload for you. And also, it's kind of cool. I tried this in my home while I was sitting in front of my TV because I wanted to see, like, if I'm away and I start playing, will my Xbox kick on and my TV kick on and everything start? No, the Xbox stays off. You wouldn't know that I'm playing. Really? Yeah, it stays completely off, no fan, screens don't turn on or anything. And I'm just playing my game on my phone. Now, I don't know if that means that I'm using Microsoft servers to do this, or if I'm using my personal Xbox to do this. I don't get how the technical side of this works. I just know that it's super convenient and it's really cool.
Is it like a subscription service? Is it like lumped into like the Game Pass?
That's the other point I want to make. This service is at no extra cost to Game Pass Ultimate subscribers. So if you're paying your $20 a month for your Game Pass, your Xbox Live, all that stuff, this is also a service that's available. All you got to do is download the Xbox app on whatever tablet or phone you have. Once you open that up, you can hook up your console to your app, to your Microsoft account, and immediately start playing right there once you can hook up your controller to Bluetooth. So it's just absolutely incredible to be able to do that anywhere, as long as you have a connection You know, as long as you're not in a dead zone somewhere, you can play your Xbox.
That is amazing. I can't believe that. I'd like to know how that works technically. I think I'm going to look into that.
I'm actually really surprised that Sony doesn't have. I was fully expecting you guys to say something along the lines of, "Oh, that's a lot like this." You know,
Well, I mean,
Sony.
that kind of reminds me of like the I think it was the PS Vita, right? Or
I mean, kinda with like portability and whatnot, but like
yeah, or
we don't have a we don't.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, we don't have like a phone app that we can use to actually play games.
Play the games,
That's
yeah.
Right. Now, obviously, this isn't a replacement for playing on your television and, you know, putting headphones on. But I will say the sound quality comes through perfect. I hook it up to my aux cord in my truck when I'm sitting in the parking lot waiting to go into work, and I get full surround sound, and everything's how it's supposed to be. It's absolutely incredible. I've been playing Wolfenstein: The New Order. I've been playing that a lot ever since it got on Game Pass. I'm trying to make...
Is that the new one?
No, that's the old one. Well, it's not the old one.
The
old ones
one.
are the super retro ones. The old new one, I guess I should say. But I've been playing through all of those on my phone, basically, in my free time, because at home I'm playing MLB The Show, which we talked about last week, by the way. Incredible baseball game. Loving it. Got it for free.
What a fucking future we live in, dude. I feel like we should have
incredible.
fucking flying cars.
I know.
Like, that's what this feels like.
Play your Xbox on your phone, and yeah, it's fun to be alive nowadays, especially for us gamers.
Are you? Yeah.
David, anything to add?
No, not really. Not that.
Okay. No, you're good. Yeah, Ethan and I talked way too long about that. But no, it kind of like ties into my topic actually, which is a Game Pass thing. Well, it's more to do with Capcom specifically.
Right.
But there's so as we all know, Resident Evil Village is coming out in a month.
Yep.
And super excited for it. I am a huge fan of all of the Resident Evil games.
Watch that playthrough
check
on
us
the
out.
ZapQuackPax channel. I'm not gonna play it.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll definitely be playing it.
Plugged it.
We will
Absolutely,
definitely be playing it.
Give me that Lady D. Mestrew, or whatever the hell her name is.
Whatever.
But no, so it's interesting with these multi-platform games, because normally, recently, a lot of really big titles have been coming to the Game Pass. Big new games like the MLB 21, the show.
Yep.
There's a lot of really great new titles that are coming to the Game Pass. And I was surprised to find out that Sony actually has a clause, or rather Capcom has a clause that I guess works with Sony, that their games cannot be put onto a subscription service the first year that they're released. So and it states specifically like subscription services, Game Pass, Stadia, and you know, when you think about it, it makes a whole lot of sense, because you know they would kind of be losing some kind of like a section of the audience
Right.
if they gave Xbox unfettered access to put whatever game they want on the Game Pass. But I just thought that was really interesting, and I want to know, like, are there other games out there that are like that? Surely there are. It's just interesting to me.
Yeah.
You guys got anything to say about?
Yeah, I can't think of any other games that have specifically come out and said we're not putting ourselves on any of these services. Like, they had to point it out. I actually want to ask you a question. You mentioned Game Pass, you mentioned Stadia. Are they also talking about the PlayStation Plus, or is that not really mentioned?
No, they're not.
Okay.
That was the other point, is that PlayStation Plus is not in that clause.
Right.
So that's why it makes it sound like Capcom and Sony are kind of working together, but it's weird because this isn't a Sony exclusive game.
Right. I personally believe, I fully respect a developer's decision whether or not they want their games to go to a free subscription service. I don't mind that. I also don't mind game developers making deals with big companies that make consoles. So I don't see anything really wrong with it. I think this is just a decision by the developers, but I think it opens up a new avenue of, I guess I should say, warfare between the two companies when it comes to these subscription services. Because I don't know the specifics of it. I don't know if Sony came to Capcom and was like, hey, we're not going to let you put this on our system unless, you know, you put this clause in. Or maybe it was vice versa. Like, hey, we want to kiss up to you, Sony, so we're going to do this so you guys promote our game more. Like, I don't know what those inner talks were about, but I think this definitely is kind of showing the ass of, you know, a new type of warfare, I guess, for the console wars, which I don't necessarily like. I want more accessibility for games, and you know,
it's understandable.
I'm thinking the space race is off again with the new technology that we're having between the two consoles. It's been kind of dying, you know, in the last generation of consoles. Everything was kind of going smoothly, but with this new gen, I think we're starting to see a bit of a space race between Sony and Microsoft.
I agree.
Yeah.
Such great insights.
I feel like I had something else to say. It's just weird because you know, Capcom is not solely any like one console's game, because like you have Street Fighter and Mega Man and like all of these games that like Capcom does produce, and they're on all the platforms. It's just weird that this one. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I've always, but I don't know. I don't know if this is just me, but I've always associated Resident Evil with PlayStation. I don't know if that's just me, or if it's like just the game style. It's a Japanese game, so I know Sony has a lot of Japanese, you know, exclusives and stuff like that. So maybe that's just the game makeup, but I've always associated the series with PlayStation.
Right. Okay. Well. Next.
Well, I mean, speaking of Capcom, you know, there was once a thing called Marvel vs. Capcom, which, oh my god, brings us back to Marvel.
Good segue, buddy.
Yeah. So the new Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, even the name itself kind of speaks it into being. Elizabeth Olsen was quoted as saying that it's bonkers and that it gives off major horror movie vibes, which isn't too far out of the realm of possibility, you know, because Kevin Feige and horror movies, there's a history there.
Yeah.
And that would actually be really interesting. And they did say, the director said that it is more horror type and that it's leaning into that. So I think that that's a really interesting direction, and I'm excited to see where that goes. Plus, they kind of hinted at it with the end of WandaVision, which is what, you know, we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And
the post-credit scene.
Right. So I think that's going to be really cool to see come to the screen, and I think that could go in a lot of interesting different directions. And I'm pretty sure that you have something to say about that, right?
Oh, yes. I have a few things. So one, I love horror. I love horror movies. I love horror games. I love horror comic books. I love horror everything.
It makes one of us.
Yes.
Well, two of us.
Two of us.
Yeah.
I love horror too.
Yeah. I love the adrenaline kick that I get whenever I'm watching something. The shock value is something that I actually really do love. Shock value, as opposed to a lot of people that I know. It's kind of one of the things that I really like about watching movies and watching shows is when something crazy, stupid happens. And in horror movies, I get a lot of that. And we've only had one other Marvel thing be kind of quote unquote horror, and that was the New Mutants. And as we all know, that movie bombed horrifically. I didn't watch it. I'm still gonna hold my judgment of the movie because I haven't watched it yet. I don't know if it's good or bad.
Same here. I need to watch it.
I never watched it either.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll watch
but I
it.
hope that
Maybe.
yeah, it's on HBO Max and we've got it. So, but I'm just hoping that we don't have like a repeat of the New Mutants, where we have this hype for a horror-esque movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, I
And then
would
it
say
flops.
don't. Yeah, I would say don't go into it with the expectation that it is a horror movie.
No.
Well, sure.
I would just say it may have some horror elements to it, but it is
Yeah,
still a
'cause
mainstream
that's-
Marvel movie.
Yeah. I really like the idea of or just the thought of we have Wanda, who's suffered loss after loss after loss, and then with the ending of WandaVision, spoiler alert, she loses everything again.
Yeah.
And she goes off into the fucking wilderness to meditate, but it turns out that she's kind of like getting a little too heavy into the paint with the Book of Darkness or whatever it was called.
Mm-hmm.
She's studying.
Yes, and at I don't know if you guys know, but well, maybe not obviously, but Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, is a reality bending omega threat level mutant.
Yeah. Terrifying.
And just going off of like what happened in WandaVision, there's no telling like what is going to happen once she gets all that knowledge of the book in her.
Right.
We might actually get like a very like Eldritch horror, maybe like a Silent Hill vibe going on.
That would be
with
cool.
how much she can, actually bend reality. And I'm really excited for it. I love horror movies, like I said, and I loved WandaVision, and yeah, the whole thing, just love it.
I can't see Marvel going full bore into the horror. I think it's going to be more like what David was saying, in that it's going to have some horror elements. It's not going to be all encompassing though. But I think I'm interested to see it, because I think that's just Marvel Studios kind of flexing what they can do with these characters. I think they're kind of, stuck in a box with what kind of movies Marvel Studio can make. And if they can kind of branch out and flex what they can do with these characters and figure all that stuff out, whether it be horror or comedy or whatever. Well, they already did comedy with Deadpool, which was great. But now they can kind of branch into some horror elements. I think that's incredible. And I'm super excited to see what they can do, because I know they do everything else pretty damn well. So I can only imagine that they're going to be able to do horror fairly well.
Yeah.
Except Dark and Brooding. Dark and Brooding doesn't seem to be Marvel's forte.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Dark World Thor.
Yeah. On a lighter note, though, with that movie, there were rumors. If you missed the children, if you were sad about the children, about Wanda's kids, there are rumors that Wanda's kids have been seen on the set.
No.
So they may show up in the
flashbacks.
movie. Yeah, maybe. We don't know. There's just speculation that they're on set, so they could show up in the movie again. Which means some of those other characters that weren't real characters may show up again.
Like Boner.
Like
Ralph
Ralph Boner. Wouldn't that be something?
I also can't imagine how much more powerful the Scarlet Witch is going to get in this movie, because we know she can bend reality, so that's perfectly plausible to me now that after all this time staring into that book, that she might have figured out how to reincarnate some stuff, or do something more powerful. That what I've been waiting for after WandaVision is the continuation of her story. So I'm super excited to see how much more powerful and how much more of a badass bitch she's about to become. So
yeah, and this may be my ignorance, but because I don't know too much about comics or anything, but is there a chance that maybe it'll be her versus Doctor Strange at one point?
Absolutely. This might be a showdown between the two of them.
That would be something else, wouldn't it?
Yes.
That's nuts.
Doctor Strange is one of the most powerful sorcerers known to Marvel, and so is Scarlet Witch. I do think that Scarlet, if judging by like comic book logic and like what goes on in the comic books, I would think that Scarlet Witch would actually come out on top.
Well, are we talking Doctor Strange with or without the time stone?
It doesn't matter.
You don't think it matters?
It doesn't matter. Bold move.
It doesn't matter. If we're talking about comic book iterations, I still think that that Wanda comes out on top. The Time Stone is nothing compared to the bending of reality. She can change the Time Stone into concrete.
That's
before he even gets to it.
She's almost above the stones at this point with her power.
That's a good point, but I like Benedict Cumberbatch, so he wins.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's his movie.
Yeah, it is his movie.
Sure.
All things considered, though, if they end up fighting, we are going to probably be in for one of the best fight scenes in Marvel so far.
And that probably won't even be the climactic fight, like the the big villain fight. That might be him being like, "Get your shit together."
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe there's like an evil presence inside the book that like comes to life after she unlocks its secrets, and they have to team up at the end.
Wanda's already unstable as hell prior to this. I can't imagine how unstable she is now. So even with that book, I don't know. I don't know if there's any coming back for her.
well, Vision is still out there. So if Vision shows up, Vision's a wild card for her.
There's so many different avenues this movie could go down. So I'm so excited. To see
that's why I love it too.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
It's expanded so much.
Who knows? Maybe Mechagodzilla comes out at the end of the movie and they have to fucking band together.
All their asses. That's funny.
Martha, why did you say that name?
Mechagodzilla at 11.
Oh god.
I like it.
Absolutely. Did you guys hear that Russell Crowe is going to be Zeus in Thor: Love and Thunder?
Really?
They're mixing Norse and Greek mythology here. And Russell Crowe is going to return for like the third or fourth time for playing Zeus, because he's played Zeus in other fucking movies before.
He is Zeus.
That just means he's good at it, right?
Yeah. And it's really interesting too, because he's Jor-El in Superman. He's Superman's dad.
Yeah.
So now he's gonna be. I love it when
Thor crossover coming at you.
I love it when these actors just like flip this script and like, oh hey, I've been doing DC for a while. Let's go over to Marvel real quick and play like a little small role. It's really fun when that happens.
Russell Crowe's everyone's daddy.
Yeah, he's a handsome man.
Yes, he is.
Not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. Russell Crowe. Just another incredible actor just stacked on the mountain of incredible acting talent that Marvel already has.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of like how Marvel is just like cherry picking all of the actors and actresses from the Lord of the Rings movies. They have like 10 or 15 people from either The Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings playing whatever characters, because you have Benedict Cumberbatch, obviously he was Smaug,
right?
And I am blanking on all of them, but Hela from Ragnarok, she was Gadriel in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And then Watson from Sherlock Holmes and Watson. He plays Bilbo. He plays Bilbo Baggins in The Hobbit, but he's also an agent in Marvel. I think he works on the Raft.
It's almost like the best actors are the best actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all from Britain.
I'm looking at this list.
They really are.
Now that you brought it up, it's I looked up the list, and there's actually an article about Lord of the Rings characters that are now Marvel characters. Hugo Weaving, he played.
He's Red Skull.
He's Red Skull, right? And he played Elrond in Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
One of the lords of the elves of
There's also
Middle-earth.
there's also Agent Smith in Matrix.
Oh, yeah. That's
there was a similar things where like Harry Potter actors were showing up like in Doctor Who and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So like
Yeah, it's really interesting.
these crossover things
'cause-
tend to happen.
Because I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast before, but Doctor Who's just like such a staple, or has been such a staple in Britain for like the past 60, 70 years, that like you could walk down the street two doors down and like there would be another fucking Whovian. They're all like
Whovian.
Everyone loves the show.
Yeah.
And like all of the new actors that are playing the Doctor in the past, since the show came back, they're all like diehard Doctor Who fans, and
Right.
it was their dream to actually become the Doctor, and they did it. It's really cool.
They done did it.
Did you guys hear that? So the Mortal Kombat movie that we would love to talk about right now,
Yes.
but unfortunately we can't.
Hmm.
It turns out that it's going to be actually a trilogy. If the movie comes, if they've already signed on all the actors for a trilogy, if the movie performs well.
So I will say,
ooh.
I'm not going to give you guys spoilers. Obviously, I'm not going to give my thoughts on the movie because I don't want you guys spoiled. But I will say the ending definitely sets up for a continuation.
Fantastic.
It's beyond obvious that, okay, this is what's going to be the second movie. We know now what the second movie is going to be about. So,
So,
you'll see at the ending, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll be like, okay, that's what's happening next movie. So,
Yeah, it'll be the next tournament.
yeah,
just you wait. Just wait.
the Deadly Alliance.
Deadly something.
What?
No, just never mind.
Deadly
Oh,
something.
okay. I thought that was something.
Well, it what it is. It's there. It's in the main storyline of the original Mortal Kombat stuff. But.
Gotcha. I'm not like that well versed in Mortal Kombat, and I never really played the games growing up. I did watch the original movie of it, and I thought it was really cool for the time at least.
Yeah, I cannot wait to. Actually, we're going to watch it right after we get done with this, so it's gonna be awesome.
Exactly. That's why I'm not saying nothing.
You guys want to talk about Discord and how Microsoft did not get the deal?
Oh yeah, I would definitely talk about that for sure. The whole deal, it was supposed to be a $10 billion deal between Xbox and Discord. It kind of fell through, which I think is good for Discord. I don't see why Discord wants to sell right now. It's pretty much conquered the chat feature, I guess you could say, for PCs, whether it be gaming or non-gaming. It's not just a gaming thing anymore. We're using it right now to talk for this podcast. We're using Discord right now to record our podcast. Discord is kind of become a necessary tool if you have a computer at home to be able to talk to people. So
Discord sponsor us.
Yeah, sponsor us. Discord sponsor us. But yeah, I don't see what they would have gained out of getting bought out by Microsoft. Yeah, the
money.
That's what I was about to say. The creators of Discord would definitely, cash out and probably, go live in a big house for the rest of their life and enjoy their lives. But, they're doing something kind of revolutionary here with Discord. Discord is now an integral part of the lives of people in our community, whether it be gaming and the such.
And porn.
Yeah, I guess that too. There's a lot of things you can do on Discord. It's kind of the new Skype of our generation. I'm sure you guys remember when Skype was, everyone needed Skype so that you could talk to people. That's what Discord is becoming. So I think they have a lot of room to grow before they want to sell. Probably in 10 years, 15 years, that's probably the time to sell, because then you can ask for a lot more. But I'm glad to see it stay independent. I don't like it when giant businesses, even though it is my family at the Xbox crowd, it's them trying to buy it. But I don't want Discord to be relegated to players who use the Xbox services and stuff like that. I think that's silly. So what do you guys think of it?
Yeah. Anytime that a big corporation starts buying off franchises or like services, I get a little wary. Every time that Disney is like, hey, we're buying this next,
Yeah,
I'm
we
like,
just
oh
bought
no,
another
here we go.
thing.
We're only ever gonna get this type of thing ever again, and I think that kind of like lends to the conversation we were having earlier about WandaVision branching out and being like a horror, like quote unquote horror-esque.
Right.
We right now we have like 30 or 40, like I don't, we're probably getting close to 40 now, movies where they're all superhero movies, and like they all kind of like follow the same kind of pattern. And even though it does work, don't why fix it if it ain't broke, or rather if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's still in the back of my mind that like I really hope we don't get into a rut where like 10 years from down the line, like we're still watching the same type of superhero movie.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm really glad about the rumor or the thought of WandaVision becoming horror-esque,
Right.
to branch out. But as far as Discord goes, I've never really used it until like the last year. But as far as I'm concerned, it's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
I wish my camera was a little bit better. Maybe we could hop on to like actual Twitch streaming and everyone could see our beautiful shining faces.
Oh,
yeah. But yeah, I remember looking back on Skype and thinking, man, this looks shitty. There's latency issues.
Yeah.
I'm talking over them, they're talking over me, then we get frustrated, and it's like, well, just fucking turn it off, like just give me a call. And like FaceTime is much better than Skype ever could have been.
Right.
So yeah, $10 billion is a lot of money. I would have done it in a heartbeat, but that's just me.
Yeah. And Discord is so much different than Skype too. It integrates so many different things. Like for example, when Torchlight 2 came out, or was it Torchlight 3? Hold on, let me go to the Discord real quick. And look, Torchlight 3. When Torchlight 3 came out, it was it's kind of a looter game. Just run it. It's a lot Diablo-esque type of game. I joined their Discord right when it came out, and I could directly interact with the developers of this game, with the community. There's different stuff here, like there's announcements, content creators for YouTubers and stuff like that. There's picture sections, mayhem, general chat. There's all this stuff about the game, and tips and tricks on how to do it, and Discord just kind of ties together communities, I think, and I think that's absolutely incredible, whether it be for shows or games or anything like that. It's really fun to be a part of something like that.
When you think about it, it's kind of like if Reddit just like decided, hey, we're gonna have a video chat function now.
Yeah, almost.
You have a billion different forums under a section. It's like, this feels like way bigger than just a video chat.
It is, absolutely.
It's really cool. I actually really love it.
So yeah, Discord sponsors.
Yes, absolutely. Please, we need the money.
We need money.
The money.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the official Baked Beans podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Zap and Quack, thank you guys for coming on. Wait, that makes it sound like it's my podcast. What the fuck? Oh, my God.
Thanks again for joining us on this podcast. It's great to have you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
It's got to be more personal than that.
Hey, everyone. Fuck off. Bye.
I mean,
that's super personal.
Yeah. that's good.
Just not in a good way.
That's good for audience retention. Yeah. But thank you guys for joining us. This has been another episode of the official Baked Beans podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
All right.
Hallelujah.
So we're gonna use David's whole "fuck off" thing, and then go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's how I figured we'd set that up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, please don't.
It's gonna be perfect. Absolutely.
Oh man,
Max.
Why do I say things?
Max,
you always do it.
Edit that in, Max.
Oh God. People are gonna hate me.
Nah.